BlackRock has bought Ethereum for over $200 million, and they are about to introduce something that 98% of people are overlooking. All the details are in the video. And what if you had gotten into cryptocurrencies 10 years ago? This question sometimes crosses my mind. What if you had gotten in really early, instead of spending years, for example, just researching whether Bitcoin or cryptocurrencies are right for you? If you had actually bought in, where would you be today? Because many people never invested, never put money aside, many are completely stuck in the 9-to-5 mindset and can't see anything else. The point is, many people I used to know are still in the exact same place. They only know what's right in front of them. Because if everyone around you is just working, paying rent, and spending money on unnecessary things, then there is no version 2.0. There is no growth, no idea that more is possible. And it's about your time and your small decisions, which add up over time. You can also see it when people say they don't have enough money for an apartment. Basically, we've become numb to large numbers. Even though you might earn 75,000 euros a year, $1 million still sounds out of reach. And when someone sells their company for 28 million, it seems astronomical. Yet we constantly hear about billions and trillions being spent, printed, or created out of thin air. This is exactly what keeps many people from investing, and the same thing is happening today with Bitcoin and crypto. People have been saying for years that it's too expensive, whether it's at $1,000, $5,000, $60,000, or $100,000. And later, when the price hits $150,000, they admire those who own Bitcoin, even though they never got in themselves. Yet they could have bought fractions of a Bitcoin earlier on. Maybe you've heard statements like this too. If I invest $1,000 in Bitcoin at $110,000 and Bitcoin rises to $220,000, I'll have made $1,000 in profit. But when Bitcoin is worth $1 million, those same people will regret not having bought earlier. Basically, it's about recognizing opportunities before everyone else sees them. And do you know how many people can still buy a tenth of a Bitcoin right now? How many of you have bought small fractions of Bitcoin over the past few years? And that often adds up faster than you might think. If Bitcoin is ever worth $2, $5, $10, or even $30 million, what will become of that tiny little investment? Do you actually realize how incredibly early we are, especially in this market, and how lucky we basically are to be here? And the next thing is, how many people really plan to hold Bitcoin long-term or invest in Bitcoin? Do you understand that you're building generational wealth here? Just look around. Billions of people own nothing. Absolutely nothing. Most people around you are completely broke, and some are even deeply in debt. People are poor, really poor. And just look at what inflation is doing right now. Look at what's happening to the US dollar or the euro and where prices are heading. It's serious. Those who own assets are protected. Do you maybe still remember 2020, 2021? The rich kept getting richer while everyone else got poorer. Why was that the case? No assets. Bitcoin and crypto are so important to me. It's open to everyone. The only obstacle here is yourself. And we have to realize that the world is changing right now. Wealth is no longer created just through stocks or land, for example. The opportunities right now are enormous, especially here in the cryptocurrency space, and many people are missing out on this opportunity right now. The cynics, the hesitant ones, they will be left behind. But what are you going to do? And here's some real advice. Acquire assets. Hold on to them, whether it's land, dividend stocks, or crypto. And if you want to build financial independence through Bitcoin and crypto, for example, click the link in the description below the video. With Bitcoin, buying and holding has worked best for many people so far. It has worked in the past. And that's exactly what it's about. You have the upper hand if you act now and hold. And if you take profits in this cycle and buy yourself an apartment with it, don't let people without money put you down. When the market is booming, a lot of people post photos of cars, for example, that they want to buy after selling their cryptocurrencies. And that is the real transfer of wealth. Not magical money, but holding and reinvesting. If you spend $70,000 to $200,000, for example, on a car, you've given your money to someone else. Money that could have been working for you. That great car will be old and worthless in 7 years. Recognize your opportunity here and now. Buy assets that grow and make you wealthier. The US dollar is weakening, the euro is weakening, companies are closing and leaving Germany, firms are de-dollarizing. Tangible assets are vital for survival, especially with automation advancing more and more. And one video, for example, showed Bill Gates saying, in 10 to 15 years, only 5 to 10% of jobs will remain. People are like, wow, this is a bit scary. It's completely new territory.
I mean, will we still need humans?
Not for most things. We'll decide.
And some comments said, then workers will have more free time. But I ask, with what will they pay? People already have 3 to 4 jobs now. If everything is automated, where will all the money come from? Part of it comes from robots, for example, through free labor. But what many overlook are passive contracts, like Bitcoin passive contracts or crypto passive contracts. Crypto exchanges are already offering Bitcoin lending. MicroStrategy and others aren't just hoarding Bitcoin because of rising prices. There's also this other aspect: staking coins, staking cryptocurrencies, and, for example, earning 7% returns per year without working. And many people overlook all of this, but in the 2030s and 2040s, money will come either from automation or from passive contracts. And now you might be wondering why more and more Ether, that is Ethereum, is leaving crypto exchanges. Why is staking booming so much? And why does BlackRock absolutely want to include staking in their ETF application? The core idea behind this is the world is changing radically due to automation and artificial intelligence, AI. More and more jobs are disappearing, whether it's accountants, office workers, or entire professions. You can clearly see, in the future, wealth will mainly come from two things: owning machines, meaning companies that drive automation, and cryptos with staking, that is, digital machines that generate passive income around the clock. That's exactly why institutions like BlackRock, for example, are massively buying up Bitcoin, Ethereum, and others. Cardano and other staking coins are booming because they enable exactly this kind of passive income. Staking is the key, but many private investors are still overlooking this. They aren't thinking in the short term about the major transformation that's happening right now in the background. History repeats itself. In the past, there were jobs like knocker-uppers, people who woke others up, or elevator operators, but these disappeared because of technology, and now we're experiencing the next wave. Artificial intelligence and robots are replacing jobs in offices, factories, and even creative fields. And some people are smart. They're now moving into skilled trades, like plumbing, for example. No machine can easily replicate that. But many people don't want to admit that this is happening right now. And when you talk about automation, artificial intelligence, or crypto, you often get a tired smile when you bring it up with others. People cling to their 9-to-5 jobs, even though they're becoming more and more insecure. But the signs are unmistakable. Anyone who wants to be wealthy tomorrow either owns the machines or crypto assets that, through staking, work for them like digital machines. And now just imagine you open your phone and see $2,000 in daily earnings simply because your crypto is working in the network. That's exactly why BlackRock and others are pushing into staking ETFs. They know this is the future, and yes, it's crazy, but it's happening right now. Those who buy crypto assets today will be the ones who benefit from the system tomorrow, while others will be fighting for jobs that soon won't exist anymore. So, if you're investing in Bitcoin or crypto now, or already have, you probably have an eye for what's essential. So make sure that you don't just watch, but actually become part of this change yourself. For example, in the past, you needed 32 Ether to stake your Ether yourself. But there are also staking pools. And when Ether was worth about $1,000 or $800, the idea of putting $24,000 to $32,000 into Ether at that time, just to be able to stake, was simply too expensive. That was what hurt most people the most. In 2016, Ether or Ethereum only cost $2. At the beginning of 2017, it was $8. And now you can sit there and complain, for example, if Ether goes from $4,000 to $8,000, you could say, then I doubled my money, but you had so many opportunities to invest back then, and many people didn't take advantage of them. Do you remember, for example, Ripple XRP when it was at 45 cents? And back then I said, is anyone even paying attention to the price? Then XRP went up to $3 and people said, I'll just look for another cheap cryptocurrency. Yeah, sure, just keep ignoring the whole market, ignore the daily news, ignore the companies, and even the institutions that are buying everything up, buying it all up in the background. It's always the same cycle. Even in March or April 2020, when everything crashed and Ether dropped to $80 per coin. How many people bought 10, 20, 30 Ether back then? Very few. That's why I say in so many videos, the only ones paying attention are the rich. Sure, some of you are paying attention too, but the main point here is, people just don't realize how early they still are in this market. For example, if Bitcoin goes up to $150,000 per Bitcoin or more, and we later talk about 10 million Bitcoin, you're still early. If XRP is at $2 or $3 and later we're talking about $100 per XRP, you're still early. If Cardano goes to $10, you're still early. It's just crazy what's happening in this market right now, and to actually be part of it. Every day there's some big news. Crypto assets are clearly the solution. They beat inflation, and inflation is going to get much, much worse. And I hope you take something away from this. Rich people don't wait, whales don't wait, governments don't wait, corporations don't wait. They're not waiting for you to realize, wait a minute, I'm still early. Maybe I should put more money into crypto assets. They don't care about us. That's why they're buying everything up without asking, are we allowed to buy some of this stuff that's actually meant for you? MicroStrategy and BlackRock are approaching 1 million Bitcoin. Why would BlackRock accumulate 1 million Bitcoin for their ETF? Ask yourself that question. I bet that BlackRock will go to the US Securities and Exchange Commission in 2 to 3 years at the latest, so by 2028 or 29, to change the rules for their Bitcoin ETF to allow staking, maybe even much sooner. And we know that this will happen. Then, for example, they will have 1.5 million Bitcoin, and there will be no more Bitcoin available on crypto exchanges. 2029 is the year of Cathie Wood's $2.4 million Bitcoin forecast. And that will be a sensation. When we then hear about investors staking their Bitcoins and earning thousands or even hundreds of thousands of dollars or euros daily, monthly, or yearly without doing anything. And at the same time, you hear news like automation costs 30,000 jobs. Company lays off masses of people. I hope you see the writing on the wall, and if you want to build financial independence through Bitcoin and crypto, click the link in the description below the video.